These be the words which Moses spake.
Deuteronomy 7:6. Read this. Listen to this real quick, sis.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people to the Lord thy
God calls
God.
the Israelites, the black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the holy people. But we must keep his commandments. Today we not holy because we don't keep his commandments. We walking around lost. We don't know our nationality. We don't know our high holy days. We don't even know our true names. What is our last name? Our last name has been changed. Give me Deuteronomy 28:48. Hey, how you doing? Come over here real quick. Come holler at me. What's going on? What's your name?
Donisha.
John. Could you take your mask down?
My name is Donisha.
Donisha? I'm Isaiah, all right? So the officer was talking to you, right? What was he talking to you about?
I was asking him a question about the Israelites.
Okay, what's your question?
Is it true that God is finding his Israelites?
Is it true that God is finding his Israelites? Yeah, God never lost his Israelites, right? Give me Hosea 4:6. God never lost his Israelites, right? Hosea 5:15. This is what happened though, right? So as the Israelites, we was given rules, right? Because God is the father of the children of Israel. We was given rules, right? We didn't keep those rules. So since we didn't keep those rules, this is what God said. Go ahead.
Hosea chapter 5 verse 15. I will go and return to my place.
So he says, since the Israelites don't want to do what I tell them, since they want to do whatever they want, I'm going to go back and return to my place. Right? Meaning what? I'm going to turn my back on them. Go ahead.
Till they acknowledge.
Till what?
Till they acknowledge.
Till what?
Till they acknowledge their offense.
Now he said, I'm going to turn my back until they acknowledge their offense. Till they acknowledge what they did wrong. Till they acknowledge the trouble that they caused me. Right? So, Donisha, right? What is the offenses that we have caused against God? What did we do to God?
Disobeyed him.
Disobeyed him, right? So now, since we disobeyed him, what must we do?
Correct ourselves.
And what's that going to do for us?
Ask for forgiveness.
Ask for forgiveness, right? So if God turned his back on us until we acknowledge his offense, right? Now, this is what he did. Deuteronomy 28 verse 1. All right? Because you said we didn't obey God. So let's see what God say if we obeyed him. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So God as a father, he set out two ultimatums for us. He said, if you listen to my commandments, if you do what I tell you to do, go ahead.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So God said, if we do what he tell us to do, he go set us on high above all nations, right? So when you're on high above all nations, you make the rules, you make the laws. Everybody do what you tell them to do. Now today, are they doing what we telling them to do?
You gotta know at least one of them. Everybody you call on?
Is the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans on top of all nations?
Aren't we all as one?
Are we making the rules? The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are all one. Are we making the rules? Who make the rules in our society?
The government.
Who run the government?
The president.
Give me Deuteronomy 28:15. No, 45. Real quick. Watch this.
Deuteronomy.
Because remember, he said, if you do what I tell you, I'm gonna put you above all people. Read on.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 45. Moreover, all these curses, slavery, losing your nationality, don't know who you are, that's a curse, because we don't know who we are. We walk around lost and confused. That's why we smoke weed, do drugs, whore out our sisters, whore out our brothers, do all this stuff. I gotta go clubbing because you're trying to find a purpose in life. That's the curse. Go ahead. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So he said, because we didn't listen to God, all these curses gonna overtake us. Read.
To keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
Now these curses that we about to go over, Donisha, is for a sign, right? What street we on right now?
6th Street.
How you know?
What is the light road?
It's the light road, right? If I wasn't from out here and you say meet me on 16th, what I'm gonna be looking for when I'm walking?
A long ass 16th Street?
But I'm be looking for a long 16th Street, but how I'm gonna know I'm on 16th Street? I gotta look at what? Read it again.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
For a what?
Sign.
For a what?
Sign.
So if I want to find 16th Street, Donisha, what I gotta look for?
A sign.
A sign, right? So these curses gonna be a sign for the Israelites.
That's
the Israelites gonna be able to read these curses and say, wait a minute, that happened to my people. Read.
And for a wonder. And upon thy seed forever.
Now jump to verse 68. Let's get straight to the point, Donisha, right? You know any history, you know world history? A little bit, okay. Let's deal with our history, right? So, how did our people get over here?
We got on that boat.
We got on the boat, right? Small boat, big boat, little boat. What they call it? What they call the type of boat we got off of? It start with an S.
Noah's Ark.
Nope, it start with an S. 1619, we came over here on what kind of boats? It start with an S. I'm gonna just give it to you. We came off a ship. Cargo slave ships. You heard of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Deuteronomy 28:68. Here's a curse that's a sign for us to let us know we are the Israelites. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt. Again.
God said for breaking his commandments, he's going to put you back into slavery. Because in Egypt, the Israelites were serving slavery. Read on.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
Ships.
God should bring the Israelites into slavery with what?
With ships.
What people went into slavery with ships, Donisha? Indians? Did our people go into slavery on ships? Did the black people go into slavery on ships, Donisha? You never seen that? You never seen all these slave movies? Born of Birth of a Nation? So you never know we went into slavery on slave ships. How old are you? They didn't teach you that in high school? You didn't go to school? Okay, in 1619, the so-called Europeans came to the west coast of Africa. They round up the Israelites and they called us Negroes. And they put us on cargo slave ships. And from the west coast of Africa, they brought us over here to America on slave ships. And when we got over here, they said we gonna sell these Negroes for slaves.
And that's what the Django was, right?
Django, there we go. You seen Django. I know I just had to jog your memory, right? Django, read what you got.
The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
God should bring you into slavery again, but this time you'll go on the cargo slave ships. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
You should never see Jerusalem, because that's where we from. We ain't from the west coast of Africa. We from the land of Israel. Read.
And there,
when you got off those cargo slave ships in North America, in South America, Donisha, in England, in London, we've been shipped all over the world. That's something they don't teach us. When we get off those slave ships, what's going to happen?
Ye shall be sold.
You should be what?
Sold.
You should be what?
Sold.
You should be what?
Sold.
If I sell you something, what are you doing if you get it from me?
I'm buying.
You buying it. So look at this sign. This sign says, Negroes to be sold. So that means what happened to us?
That was when we was on chain.
That's when we was on chain. We should be sold unto who?
Your enemies.
No, to our friends.
Your enemies.
To the people who love us.
Your enemies.
So Donisha, don't go nowhere. Donisha, come back here. Come back, Donisha. I got a question. I got a question for you before you ask your question. Who were we sold to when we got off those slave ships? God calls them who? Come here. Come here. Don't run. God calls them who?
Your enemies.
God calls the people we are sold to who?
Your enemies. For bondmen.
For slave men, Donisha.
And bondwomen.
And slave women. So guess what, sis? You was in slavery right along with us. You get gunned down right along with us. You get persecuted right along with us. But why is this happening?
But with my kids?
Your kids, go back to Deuteronomy 46. 46. Watch this. 46.
Chapter 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee.
And the curses of slavery on slave ships, read.
Shall be upon thee for a sign.
Upon the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans for what?
For a sign.
For a signifier to show you this is who you are. You are the people of the book. Cargo slave ship was prophesied as a sign for you. Read.
And for a wonder.
And you should wonder, why did we go on slavery on slave ships and no other nation? Why we at the bottom getting gunned down, getting in prison by the millions? Why is that happening to us? Read.
And upon thy seed.
And upon your what?
Seed.
Donisha, your children is what?
Me.
Yo, man, a man's seed. A man's seed. And these curses.
Well, we know that.
Right, and these curses should be upon who?
Thy seed.
For how long?
Forever.
So guess what? When my mama and my daddy had me, I grew up learning about slavery. My daughter, she grew up learning about slavery. Everybody, kids out here gonna grow up learning about slavery, whether they try to take it out to school or not. God said this will be a sign for the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in the last days for you to know who you are. You see what I'm saying? So why did this happen? Because we broke God's commandments. We didn't do what God told us to do. Huh? Even now to today. Give me 1 Corinthians 3:16. Even to today, Danisha, look. These people you see on the side, today all these people are at the bottom of society. All these people get the worst food, they get the worst jobs, they get the lowest income housing. You go to the project, the blacks and Hispanics fill the projects. What's happening in the project? Water, full of lead. What's happening every day? We getting gunned down by each other because it's hatred, because we don't know who we are, because we've been destroyed for centuries. But now we bringing the truth back. Now we coming back to our true identity, Danisha, and this is what we must do.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?
Danisha, you the temple of God. We are the temple of God. The temple is the house of God. We are God's chosen people. He said we are the temple. Read.
And that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you.
The Spirit that created everything. The Spirit that created everything, the wisdom of God, dwells in us, Danisha. Dwells in the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read.
If any man defile the temple of God.
Danisha, this is what we do today. We defile the temple of God. We defile the house of God. How do we defile the house of God, Danisha? Defile means to destroy, to corrupt, to make nasty. No, how do we destroy our body?
By sinning.
By sinning, right? How about by smoking?
Sinning.
By smoking, right?
Sinning.
What happened when we smoke? What happened to our lungs? What happened to our lungs?
You're killing yourself.
You're killing yourself, right? So God said because we want to continue to kill ourselves, these curses are going to continue upon us. So now you are the temple of God, Danisha. You destroy, you defile your temple, what God gonna do?
Him shall God destroy.
Now, people say weed don't kill you, right? Weed don't cause cancer. But how does it destroy you? It makes you slow.
Forget.
It makes you forget. It destroys your brain cells.
I really forget.
I know it's not funny. You laughing, we not. We tired of seeing our people like this. Give me 1 Maccabees 3:43. Sis, we out here destroyed because we continue to defile our temple. We continue to sin. We continue to sin. This is what we're doing, Danisha. Come here. Don't go nowhere. This is what we're doing. 1 Maccabees.
1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 43. They said one to another.
This is what we said before we come out here, Danisha. All the men in purple, we said one to another. What we say?
Let us restore.
Let us do what?
Restore.
Let us do what?
Restore.
So we come together, we read this Bible, and we say, we got to go out and restore, mean build back up, who?
The decayed estate of our people.
The decayed estate of our people. So we come out here to build you up, sis. We come out here to build our people up because guess what? We are in the destroyed mindset. We are destroyed people, Danisha. Give me Deuteronomy 7:6. Come here, Danisha, come back. Come back, right? So God said, Danisha, God said we should not destroy our temple, right? And we out here to encourage you to stop destroying your temple because God dwells in your temple. God can't dwell in your temple when it's full of smoke, when it's full of pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. God can't dwell in our temple when it's full of corrupt things, right? Deuteronomy 7:6.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Danisha, look at me. God said you holy, mean you separate, mean you above all people. Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people
God
unto
said we special. You know what that means to be special to God, the creator of all things. He controls everything. He created everybody on the planet. But he said the Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are my special people. That means I love you, read.
Above all people.
Where we at?
Above all people.
Danisha, the Bible said we where?
Above all people.
We above everybody. So you know what we can't do? We above everybody where?
That are upon the face of the earth.
The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people. Give me Amos 3. Because sister need a build up right now. We are to restore the decayed state. Because the lifestyle you live in is not the lifestyle God wants for us. God said we his temple. He said he trying to dwell in us, Donisha. He said he trying to live in you. You see what I'm saying? You see these men out here in the permanent gold? We was in the same boat as you. We was on that side. But God brought men to us to build us up. Read what you got, Amos 3.
Amos chapter 3 verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Listen up, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. God has spoken the word against you. Read.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt.
God brought up the whole 12 tribes of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Today, that's the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You are the biblical Israelites. Read.
Saying,
Donisha, listen up. What God say?
You only have I known.
Hold on, read it slow.
You only.
God said the 12 tribes of Israel, you only, read.
Have I known of all the families of the earth.
That's the Bible. Churches ain't reading these scriptures. The Bible says God only know the Israelites. God only know the 12 tribes of Israel. Sis, what's your name? Sis, come look at this sign, sis. Come look at this sign. You walked all the way over here, right? So now, since God only knows us, what's going to happen?
Therefore, I will punish you.
Therefore, because God only deals with us, he's going to do what?
I will punish you for all your iniquities.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.